light. She was born to love, kiss our tears away, vanish all our fears, fill the world with joy. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See her loving glow in a blushing flower. Watch her dreams take wings over skies so blue. She will save the earth and its every glory. She will teach her child every golden story. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering.
Lisa, our beautiful Elisa, Miss Philippines Agritourism, you're on mute.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry, so a pleasant evening to everyone. My name is Eliza Mendoza, your Miss Philippines Earth Ecotourism 2020. And welcome to Miss Philippines Earth 2021's third and final phase of prejudging to determine who will make it to the semifinals. This is the Intelligence and Environmental Awareness round, wherein each delegate will have a one-on-one interview with our panel of experts. But before that, we would like to invite you to join us in our trend by using the hashtag #MeLoves, short for Mother Earth, Miss Earth, and me as in yourself. The delegates have been using this hashtag with their eco-activities, using it to promote their different environmental activities, the eco-tourist spots of the place they're representing, and its environmental initiatives. So join us and tag us in this trend, and we'll be happy to see your videos too. Again, it's hashtag #MeLoves, short for Mother Earth, Miss Earth, and yourself. For most pageant watchers, this is considered the most crucial pre-judging stage before it completes the so-called total package of potential beauty queens who will serve as a spokesperson for the pageant's cause. You can cast your vote for your favorite delegate on the Ecosystem app. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, today's the best time to do so. And for today's pre-judging, we've invited a group of respected individuals who will challenge each of our delegates' wit and charm. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel of judges. Our first judge is the head of office of the Intelligence and Security Unit of the DFA. He joined the department in 1998 and was first assigned to the Office of Protocol. He was then transferred to the Office of European Affairs and then joined the Public Information Services Unit, to then later rejoin the Office of Protocol, and in 2006 joined the Intelligence and Security Unit. As Executive Director of the Office of Protocol, he was involved in many state visits, such as the papal visit of Pope Francis, the visit of Princess Anne of the United Kingdom, and the visit of President Francois Hollande of France, and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. He was also involved with the Asian Summit of 1999 held in Manila, and also in 2006 and 2007, which was held in Mactan, Cebu. He was handled as head of Socials Division, the receptions for APEC in 2015, Forum for Migration and Development in 2008, and the Interfaith Dialogue in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, Director Raymond Toledo.
Good evening. Thank you.
Our next judge is an actress, commercial model, and host. She is a self-proclaimed recycling queen, and she says refuse and find more use. She also believes recycling is the biggest small step everyone can do to help the earth heal. This judge is also an advocate for inclusion or integration of special children into society. Special children, she says, are different but not less. She's also one of the founders of Arte Autismo Filipino, featuring exceptional artists with autism. Without further ado, our next judge is Miss MARITESS VELASCO JOAQUIN.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hello, ladies.
And up next, she is a graduated cum laude with a degree in psychology from UP Diplomat and holds a master's degree in environment and natural resource management. She is a book author of Bakawan, a children's book part of DEP-ED's Bright Minds Read program. She is an IVLP alumna and founder of My Birthday Foundation. She's a news anchor of PTV News and the Miss Earth Water 2006, Miss Catherine-Vital.
Good evening.
Okay, and to complete our panel of judges, he is a licensed educator, a financial industry executive, and a pageant blogger. Mark has a degree in science, education, and master's in language at a premier teaching training institution. His experience as a teacher, trainer, manager, and a Miss Earth enthusiast strengthened his passion for protecting the environment through teaching, training, and leading by example. He is also an advocate of lifelong learning and education and believes that education and research are key to solving majority of our environmental problems. He is currently the Learning and Development Manager in one of the world's top financial institutions. He is also the current editor-in-chief of Miss Earth Crown, a Miss Earth dedicated news magazine blog. Mr. Mark Lee Dariel GATCHALIAN.
Hello, good evening. I'm happy to meet you all.
And so if you haven't yet to subscribe to our social media accounts, now's the best time to do so. You may follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to click the notification button so you can be updated with all the latest happenings leading to the finals on August 8th at 10 a.m. on the Kapamilya channel. Now, on the task at hand, let's get on with the prejudging in intelligence and environmental awareness together with our first batch of delegates. So up first, we have Miss Aliminos City.
So,
Hi everyone, I am Lian Cassandra Chanrafuya, reporting from the home of 100 Islands, Alaminos, Pangasinan. I am currently working as sales consultant at BMW Motorrad Libis branch. So my advocacy is urban gardening and sustainable ecotourism because it is the most needed here in our country to be able to awareness, to educate locals and travelers, and to focus on ecological conservation to provide safe environment and healthier community and it also improves the quality of life and livelihood of the local people. So aside from my modeling career and joining pageants, I also love to travel the Philippines because it makes me feel that I am myself and my heart is full of happiness whenever I get the chance to see and feel our mother nature. As a child who came from a very poor family, isn't easy and it takes a lot of patience, kindness, courage to understand your situation and to stood up and fight for your dreams to be able to achieve your goals every step of the way. Because no matter how hard life gets and how discouraged life is, you still have to be kind and always put your heart in every decision because in this life only compassionate heart what really matters. So let's spread love and hope and positivity and life to attract positive outcomes as well when it comes within ourselves and taking care of our mother earth.
Okay, thank you. So first we'll ask questions from Judge Raymond.
Okay, good evening. We have all been through this long period of a lockdown, right? Ms. Alaminos, uh, can you tell me what have you learned during this entire period? Is there something that comes to mind, like a lesson learned for you, perhaps about life or your views on life? Has anything changed during this entire period of the lockdown that you were just at home with family or just in contact with people through Zoom or through our gadgets in general, no? So could you share with us something perhaps that you've learned in this entire period? Thank you.
Oh, so everything changed. So we have to embrace the new normal, but embracing the new normal doesn't mean that we can't enjoy our lives. So we should not let this pandemic stop our world from evolving po and living our life and planting trees. We should find smart ways to move forward and do not allow the virus be used as a turn to hatred, separation, and anxiety. The world needs to unite and valorously fight the pandemic outbreak while creating a better environment for us and for also for the animals. We need a compassionate heart to flatten the curve. We should thrive and preserve our way of life. We have gone through more difficult challenges in the past. And I know that we will win this time as we did in the past as well po.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Up next, we'll have our question from Miss Marites.
Okay. Miss Alaminos, Lian, right? I like your message and your
Yes
positivism,
po.
and you really exude it, and I believe that. So I just like to know, Lian, so who is your role model?
My role model po is of course my mom because I believe that a quality that a leader should have or display is love and compassion for others. And my mom has it. And with our environment, because when a leader has a heart and compassion in everything she does, the people would follow her footsteps. During such times, we need a compassionate heart to empathize everyone to flatten the curve, as I said earlier, and be responsible enough to have care for one another, as well as taking care of our environment and animals. So let's remember that we're all in this together, and to reach the destination of healing, we must be united and grow together. We have gone through a difficult times, and I know that this time we can make it also, and another change will come. And always be in positive because embracing positive as well and being optimistic will help us through this difficulty po.
Thank you very much for that answer.
Okay, thank you, Miss Alimonas. Up
Thank
next,
you po.
we have Miss Anda Bohol.
Good evening, judges and to our viewers. Good evening. I am Irish Olendra de Lima, 20 years of age, your reigning Miss Andabuhol Ecotourism, and now I am proudly representing Andabuhol for this year's Miss Philippines Earth. I'm currently studying in Cebu Normal University, taking a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, major in print journalism. I am a strong advocate of building an equitable zero carbon economy, and I always believe that reducing our carbon footprint is still essential amidst this pandemic. As an ambassador of Antipole tourism and as an advocate for the environment, I took this platform to promote awareness and at the same time correlate its effect to our planet, to the humanity. I know that this pageant, is a great platform for each and every woman like me to contribute to positive change and create impact, not only to ourselves but also to the people and our environment. Thank you.
Okay, so our first judge who will be asking your first question will be Sir Mark.
Hello, good evening, Miss Anda Bohol. I
evening,
actually
sir.
read your profile and I'd like to check though, your advocacy is building on equitable carbon economy and mention steps in your
Yes.
profile. But how do you really balance an equitable carbon economy when there are a lot of industries who do not know what to do? What will you do?
I apologize, sir, but you're cutting in and out. Can you repeat the question?
All right, sorry, let me repeat that. So you mentioned in your profile that you believe in building an equitable carbon economy, and even in your profile, when there are a lot of industries who do not know how to do that. So what will you do?
You know what? In my advocacy, I have this tactics where I plan to have it in ACT action. A stands for advocate, C stands for create, T stands for team. We have to advocate and to teach the people the importance and how to reduce our carbon footprint. C is to create. We have to turn our words into actions. And T is to team up, not only with the people but also to the organization, to public and private sectors. That is why it's such a privilege to be part of this organization, because I believe that Miss Philippines Earth is such a powerful platform to voice out my message, my advocacy, not only to the people but also to the businessman and also to the people who are engaged into perilous activities that could possibly harm our environment.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and our next judge will be Miss Catherine. Do you have a
Yes. Hi, Miss Anda. If you were given a chance to gather everyone together, what environmental activity would you want to do first?
Hi, it's really such an exciting question, but you know what? I know it's very common, but I would want people to engage into a tree planting. Though people think that tree planting is such a common or such a small thing, but it's very important because nowadays that a lot of people are producing, or even households are possibly produce 25 billion tons of carbon footprint in a year. And I believe that planting trees really create an important role in our society in reducing the carbon footprint that we are producing each and every day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Do any of our judges have question left? I think she has one. She has time for one more. No, it's all good. Thank you, Miss Anda Bohol. We'll move on to our next delegate.
Thank
So
you
Miss
so much.
Miss Angeles City.
Hello, good evening. My name is Gail Ventique, your Miss Philippines Earth Angeles City. I am 26 years old. I'm a licensed medical scientist both in the Philippines and the United States. I also took up new enterprise planning at the University of the Philippines Open University, which led me to my interest in entrepreneurship. During the pandemic, I was one of the millions of Filipinos who lost their jobs due to the economic crisis brought about with the COVID-19 pandemic. But then, during this experience, I co-founded different eco-friendly businesses along the way, which helped me and my livelihood, at the same time the environment as well. With that, I aspire for our current economy to become a greener economy by embracing sustainable ecopreneurship. Thank you po.
Okay, our first question will be from Director Raymond.
Good evening.
Good evening po.
Coming from Angeles City, I just want to get your opinion now. Would you say that our bilateral relations with the United States of America, because before we did have US bases here, right, in the place where you live, where you come from, you think that it's the most important relationship we have in international relations. I just want to get your opinion. Thank you.
Yes. Yes po. Well, here in Angeles City, sir, I'm really proud to say that we were able to have a bilateral relationship with the United States because of the Clark Air Force that were situated in Angeles City. And I feel like this relationship is very important, not only because we were able to be exposed by their customs and traditions, but because even up to this date, we are practicing these traditions. And this relationship with them would really be able to give us the power to communicate with the US and be able to get the different mandates that we need from them. So yes, I believe that this relationship with the US is really important, even up to this day.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Your next question will be from Miss Marites.
Hello po. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi there, Miss Angeles. You were mentioning that during the pandemic, you lost your job, right? And you went into an eco, you were saying. So I understand that you're now selling something online. That's my understanding.
Yes po, yes.
Tell me what you got into.
Yes po, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I co-founded 2 different eco-friendly businesses along the way, if I may share. The first one is Eco Wash, and the other one is E-Courier. Eco Wash is actually as a car wash in a bottle, wherein our aim is to conserve water. So, for the car wash in a bottle, so instead of us washing our car, wasting water, we actually cut it down from 90 gallons down to 50 liters. So this is my little initiative to, cut down the use of water. The other business that I co-founded was E-Courier. From the word itself, Eco-Courier. It's a courier service, ma'am. It's an app that instead of us employing carbon-emitted vehicles, such as motorcycles and cars, we actually make use and employ bicycle riders. Because I believe that bicycle is really the most eco-friendly way of transportation. And I would like to take this in Pampanga, in Angeles City, wherein we were able to roll this out just recently in Pampanga. And hopefully, if we cut down the carbon emissions from the parcels that being delivered on a day-to-day basis, because in our modern generation today, we usually are ordering online, and those parcels delivered from point A to point B would really pile up. So that is my little initiative to help the environment. So hopefully I could be able to inspire other people as well.
Well, you already have inspired me. Congratulations and more power to your business.
Thank you so much po.
Look like that's time. So thank you, Miss Angeles City. Up next, we have Miss Atimonan Quezon.
Hi, I'm Amira Almamari, 19, from Atimonan, Quezon. I'm an animal lover and I also love challenging myself. In fact, I used to have this thing called thalassophobia, or the fear of deep ocean waters. And some of you might find that ironic because I come from a coastal municipality. But as Mutya ng Atimonan, I was able to explore different coastal areas, spend time with our fisher folks, and even learn their stories. And that became my motivation in overcoming my fear, and is also the reason why I now advocate for the preservation of our marine biodiversity. Inspired by their stories, I used the CLEAR model for community participation in creating my 5 C's in protecting the seas. First, continuing a legacy, constituting policies, creating opportunities, caring for the environment, and of course, collaboration and empowerment of the people. Finally, exposing myself to these coastal communities made me realize that they are actually the true heroes behind marine life conservation. Because when we engage the community to our cause, then we can definitely make a greater change.
Okay, thank you. I will get Sir Mark to ask your first question.
Hello, Amira. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. You have a very interesting presentation. It's very clear to me what you will do should you win Miss Philippines Earth. But I'd like to delve more on a personal level because I read your profile. You mentioned that you grew up initially shy and transformed into a very strong, independent, decisive woman in making life decisions. So I'd like to check, how do you think, since that's your experience, how will you encourage young women like you to be more independent, decisive, and action-oriented towards the preservation of the marine biodiversity of Atimonan?
So I would encourage other young women like me who, grew up shy and want to be leaders or take place in society is by talking to them, sharing experiences. Shared experience is very important. And if they feel like their stories are heard, that they are important and they are valid, then I think they would find that confidence in themselves to be whoever they want to be, whether they want to delve into becoming an environmentalist, a leader, because either way they would make a change in this world, and that's very important.
Right. So probably just a minor follow-up, because you mentioned about shared experience. Now that we are on a lockdown still, technically, how do you think, can we do that? How do we share experiences to enrich and probably to share best practices? How do we do that now that we're on a lockdown?
Oh yeah, that might be hard. We can start with our communities if the lockdown protocols are a bit, more maluwag. But we can also have Zoom meetings. That's very in right now. A lot of people have technology. And so I can invite women from even all over the world or all over the country. And we can just talk like sisters, share our stories and experiences, and empower each other.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, so Miss Catherine, you can go ahead.
Hi, Miss Atimonan. You're very happy, and I love how you have a very big smile on your face. What or who is making you smile right now?
Oh, actually, being in Miss Philippines Earth is making me smile. I was waiting for this intelligence round for so long because I feel like this is where I could share who I really am, what I'm really fighting for. And so I'm just really happy to be here, to be able to share not only my story, but also the story of the fisher folk and their livelihood that I'm fighting for.
Thank you for being there, boys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Atimonan Quezon. So up next, we have Miss Aurora Isabella. Okay, so up next, we have Miss Aurora Isabella.
So hello Philippines, hello Earth, naimbag abiyag, ngandarabi ikin yatay amin. I am Myra Isabel Ipurala, your Miss Philippines Earth, Aurora Isabella. I am a daughter of a farmer and I live in a farm. And that opens my eyes to the negative effects of chemicals to our environment. That is why I'm an advocate for sustainable agriculture that focuses on the use of organic fertilizer and practicing integrated farming. Also, as the Queen Isabella Tourism 2020, I am protecting the nature of Isabella. I advocate for the nature and preservation of my tourists. Because I believe, as someone who lives in this circle of life, I have the heart, the urge, the power to take care and accept my responsibility as a human to take care of my home. Again, I am Myra, the Eco Warrior of Aurora Isabella.
Thank you. So your first question will be from Director Raymond.
Good evening.
Good
I've
evening.
not been to Isabela yet, your province, and I'm sure it's a nice place to visit. If ever I was there, what would be the places you would like to show me as a tourist in Isabela province?
So there is so much place for you to visit Isabela. But the first place I want you to visit is Palanan, Isabela. Palanan is so much beautiful than you were expecting. The Blue Lagoon, the beaches that's as pretty as Boracay. The people from there, the Agta, they are so welcome. They're so welcoming. That is why I want to take you there. I want to take everyone there to see the beauty of Isabela, how we preserve our tourists, how we preserve the tourists of Isabela, because I believe that every Filipino and every it takes a community to take care of our children, and the entire community of Isabela, we keep preserving our nature.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next question will be from Miss Marites.
Hello, Miss Isabella. We know that because of climate change, Isabela has been hit hard by a lot of storms lately, right? In the past 10 years, there's been a shift in that, and it's been very difficult for farmers. It's always in the headlines now. So I'd like to know, and also a lot of our youth, right? They don't want to do farming anymore. They'd like to go to the city, do a desk job. How would you encourage the youth now to try and go back to farming?
Actually, because of the pandemic, many children here in Isabela don't have enough money for them to study. That is why they changed their ways. They started doing farming, which is I love the most. They appreciate farming and they appreciate more farming. And other than that, farmers started to become more sustainable. They become practicing integrated farming wherein they maximize their resources. And that because of that, they retain the carbon in the soils, which helps farmers to help themselves to feed their family. In that way, as someone who advocates sustainable agriculture, I think that way I can also encourage not only the people from here Isabela, the youths who more focused on their gadgets, but also the people from the urban area to become more inclined in terms of agriculture.
Thank you, Miss Isabella. Maraming salamat.
Ma'am, thank you so much po.
It looks like we may have a bit of time. So, Sir Mark, do you maybe have a question for Miss or Isabella?
Yes, you actually mentioned in your profile that you want to use the platform for environmental advocacy. So what steps will you take, or are you willing to take in case your dream does not come true? Just the not so good side of it. What if you don't win? What will you do to still advocate for the environment?
Of course, sir. It is my responsibility as a human being to advocate for the betterment of our environment. That is why, as someone who lives here with the work of the locals of Isabela, I for sustainable agriculture. I keep continuing to advocate for sustainable agriculture for my locals and for the betterment of our environment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good evening.
So up next, we have Miss Baclayon Bohol.
So hello, good evening everyone. Mayang gabi kanatong tanan. I am Treseville Lavinia Sugat, your Miss Philippines Earth Baclayon Bohol. I am 22 years young and I am currently an online ESL teacher. So these past few months, I have realized that it is very important for all of us to understand that we are interconnected, that we should hold hands together, most especially in these tough times of pandemic. And my growing up years has become my stepping stone of my ability to accept my mistakes and learn to appreciate and embrace the reality in my present and plan for my future, demonstrated by my capacity and emotional and intellectual maturity. And also distinguishing my likes and dislikes, I believe that it molded me to become a better person of worth and value. And I was able to prioritize the things that I don't like and the things that I like to do. And also, this pandemic has taught us a lot of life lessons. And there is one thing that I've learned, that the pandemic is an eye opener to all of us to have open arms and to love beyond measure, because life is too short. So time is so fast. There will be no rewind, no replay. So let's enjoy every moment as it comes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So our first question will be from Miss Catherine. Sorry, Miss Catherine, you're still on mute.
Thank you. All right, Miss Baclayon Bohol, we all heard about the WHO report saying that the Philippine education is horrible, but of course they retracted that. As a teacher, what is your reaction about this, and what do you think is the real sentiment of Filipino teachers, especially at this time of the pandemic?
Oh, so yes, ma'am. For now, I am an online ESL teacher, and yes, it is a sad reality that because of pandemic, the education is being interrupted. But if you want to learn, there is nothing impossible if you want to keep learning. There's a lot of resources if you want to learn. And I as a teacher, I want to inspire and I want to educate my students in in what I have got, and I want to share to my students, and most especially the how we will protect and care for our Mother Earth. And in that way, I want to I will not just raise my words, I want to raise my words, not just my voice. I want to put this voice into action so that in the near future we can help our Mother Earth, because our Mother Earth is trying to get our attention, and it is time for us to hear our Mother's Earth cry. Thank you po.
Thanks.
Our next question will be from Director Raymond.
Good evening.
Good evening,
I just want
sir.
to inform you, Miss Baclayon, that my mother is from Baclayon, Bohol. My middle initial is G. Gatal. I'm a Gatal Toledo. So, yeah, my mother is from that hometown, my grandfather. Anyway, I just have a question to ask, since we have established that. You think it's true that as they say that the Boholanos in general are religious people? Because as you know, we have one of the oldest churches in the country, right? The church in Baclayon, and
Yes,
it's been
sir.
fully restored. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
It's been repaired
Yes,
since the earthquake, right? So would you agree that the Boholanos are a pious religious people?
Okay, thank you so much for your question, sir. So yes, I believe that we Baclayanos and Boholanos are religious people, because even though the 7.2 magnitude earthquake that struck down the province of Bohol, even though we can bring back the old formation of the church, but in the heart of the Baclayanons, the culture and the traditions are always cherished. And in fact, sir, I am happy to tell that we just celebrated the 500 years Christianity in the province of Bohol, and we bring back the old culture and traditions, just like we are having fluvial parade with street dancing, and also the old way of baptizing, and old way baptizing where our indigenous people were being baptized by our bishop Alberto S. Uy. And that is how amazing we are Baclayanos, because we still have the faith and hope that we can cope up with all the challenges that we have right now, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we have Miss Balayan Patangas.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Elise Relacion Galvez, 23, your Miss Philippines Earth, Balayan, Batangas. So because of the pandemic, I have to rest my wings. I'm a former cabin crew, and now I'm an associate producer at Outrigger brand. I am an advocate of conservation of marine life, because you know Batangas is a home of beautiful beaches, and I want to start the change in my home, because today we need influential people, and the home is very influential. And also ocean helps mitigate the climate change, and over 1 million Filipinos get their livelihood from the ocean. And I know that we can solve this problem with a corporate responsibility. So let us hold each other's hand, and please help me in reaching our dreams.
Thank you, sir. Our first question will be from Miss Marites.
Hi, Miss Balayan. I'd like to know, is your town affected with the current state of Taal right now?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
But, yeah, it's really saddening, but it's like 1 hour away from Balayan. But I can really testify to what Batangas is experiencing right now because of Taal volcano.
Okay. Right, Miss Balay, I just want to know, you're 23 years old, right? And at this stage in your life, what is the biggest contribution you have done for our environment?
You know, I could tell a lot of things that I've contributed for the environment. Since in school, we are educated how to plant, how to take care of the environment, how to segregate the trash. But you know, one of the greatest thing that I know that I have contributed is I have put taking care of the environment in my heart. This is just a quick story. So before the Miss Philippines Earth, there is, of course, a spot in my heart for the environment. I think we all have. But during the journey of Miss Philippines Earth, that spot grew wider and wider until my heart beats were green and blue. And now I am, I didn't imagine myself being like this. I am doing things to be more knowledgeable about the environment. What are the things that I can do and the things that I should stop doing that I could share to other people so that we can stop the devastation that is happening to the earth. And I think in my 23 years of existence, this year has been one of the most great year for me because I started to really act to take care of the environment.
I have a follow-up question to that. You said you're also a flight attendant, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we know with every flight, we do generate a lot of trash, right? So how do you think you can try and help reduce that volume of trash, the plastics, the cans, and all that? So how do you think you can help?
Before I rested my wings, we are already using paper cups. We don't use plastic inside the cabin. And also we are segregating the trash already.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Balayan.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Balayan, your next question will be from Sir Mark.
Good evening, Ms. Balayan. You've already mentioned a while ago that your advocacy is conservation of marine life. But with the current state, what's happening would be we actually have a problem of overfishing and depleting sea resources. And they even said that in 15 to 20 years, we would have depleted all of it. So how will you advocate for saving it? Would you mind sharing to us specific steps that you will take? Although you mentioned one, I think corporate responsibility, but how does that happen?
This is very saddening because we are the center of biodiversity. And imagine how many fishes we have in the Philippines, but still the overfishing is an issue. So, I want to share awareness because unawareness is really a dangerous thing. You're already at the face of the danger and you're nescience about it. So I want to share awareness to people because that is one thing of being helpful. And not all people are irresponsible because that's what we always tell. People are irresponsible. That's why Earth is like this, like that. But actually, maybe some people are not just aware of what they're doing, what they should do, and what they should not. So first, I want to be aware and I want to share that awareness to people, especially to those people who are working that are environment related.
Awareness is key indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Balayan Batangas. Up next, we have Ms. Belair Aurora.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Verna Abby Katusalem. I'm 24 years old, and I'm a teacher by profession. And I came from the surfing birthplace of the Philippines, Belair Aurora, and I work as a local government unit officer in LGU Belair, and at the same time as an SP chairman in my barangay. So my advocacy is called the KKB advocacy, or the Kanya-Kanyang Bag advocacy. So in this advocacy, people and consumers are simply encouraged to bring their own bags and their own containers when they go shopping, when they take out food, because it is really sad to know that Philippines is the third greatest contributor of around 0.75 million metric tons of plastic that ends up in the ocean every year. And I think this is something that we can resolve as a country by beginning with small conscious acts that can create great impact. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question will be from, I think, Miss Catherine. Yes.
Hi, Ms. Belair. You mentioned that you're a public servant. With the 2022 elections coming up, how will you encourage the youth, especially the youth, to make their voices heard by registering to vote?
We are doing some campaigns by posting videos and posting on Facebook and going to each barangay to encourage the youth and tell them how powerful their vote is and how powerful a leader can change our community. So I believe that by starting with education and telling them how important and powerful their voice is by voting the right people for our government, I believe that we can have a brighter future in our community.
A quick follow-up question. For example, you're given a choice, a lineup of people to vote for, but nobody is appealing to you. Would you vote for the lesser evil? I mean, or you will not vote for that position at all?
I'd rather not vote for that position at all because I don't want to contribute to the grievances that the person might bring into our governance at the end of the day. So I just hope that the right people will choose to run in the government so that us voters will really have great choices to choose from.
Thank you.
Okay, your next question will be from Director Raymond.
Hello, good evening, Ms. Valer. There are a plethora of beauty pageants we have in this country, right? I'm sure you're aware of that. But what led you to join instead the Miss Earth beauty pageant? What makes it special for you that you chose this over and above the others?
Close to my heart because my dad is a farmer and I got to see personally how the environment is sustaining the lives of people, especially those in the impoverished areas. And then I realized that my main purpose of existence and my main purpose, the reason why God put me in the position that I am in, is to become the voice of the earth. And I would like to maximize this platform given to me by Miss Philippines Earth to advocate as much as I can and educate people on the importance of conserving Mother Earth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we have time to ask another question from Miss MARITESS.
Teacher, how do you feel about ebooks versus traditional books?
Well, I believe that it really depends on the students, because students have different ways of learning. But I believe that the traditional books are always going to be better. First of all, I think it is more practical because even without electricity, you can use it. However, with the ebooks, it is more accessible and easy to use. But I believe either way, children or our students will be given the chance either way they want to read or get their information from. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I guess we save more trees by using ebooks. No way. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Miss Valer. Up next, we have Miss Bayambang Pangasinan.
I am John Orly de Guzman, your Miss Philippines Earth, Bayambang, Pangasinan. I am 19 years old and currently a college freshman taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Communication Arts English. I came from a family of educators, and growing up, my parents have instilled upon me the importance of living with the right values, treating all beings with love and respect, and learning to appreciate what is given. My advocacy is promoting backyard gardening for the reason that it leads to food security. During this pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, and it's a struggle to sustain families. And aside from food security, it also has its environmental benefits. Through backyard gardening, we are not just planting to grow our own food to eat, but we are also reminded that we must take care of our surroundings so that we can create a better life for each family, for each individual, and especially for each child. Because at the end of the day, this is the only home that we and the future generations will have. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question will be from Sir Mark.
Hello, Ms. Payambang.
Hello, good
You have a very
evening.
interesting profile. Hello. You have a very interesting profile because one of the things that you mentioned there is you have always been, to quote you, you have always been an obedient child to your parents. Wow. Okay, so my question is, how will you encourage or teach people to be obedient to environmental laws?
I would encourage people to be obedient to the laws by letting them be aware of its consequences. Because growing up, I've become obedient because I myself have tried the consequences. I've experienced that hindi ko sinunod ang mom ko in what she told me, and then the ending, I had the consequences. And I think it's important that we tell people on the consequences as well. Because at the end of the day, if people are not aware, then they will not know what the rules to follow, and they will not know what will likely to happen in the future.
Just a minor follow-up there. You mentioned about consequences. we are seeing the consequences. Do you think the consequences that you're seeing are enough for people to realize that?
I think the consequences are very enough, and it's all about awareness, just the awareness itself. And I believe that as a future educator, environmental awareness is crucial for this part, because for some people, they just don't know that there are some rules to follow. That's why they don't know that there are things that should be done. And I think that, especially in schools, as a student myself, I know that there is a lack of environmental education. And as a future educator, it is also my calling to educate people as well in terms of awareness and environmental conservation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. You mentioned that you come from a family of educators. Now that we're on lockdown and education is now online or through modules, what enlightening experience did you have, or what realization did you have about teachers and their importance in the lives of Filipinos or individuals in general?
Well, the importance of teachers during this time is, I think we all should respect our teachers. During the face-to-face classes, I think we take those teachers for granted. And now that we are on the online mode, we are missing them so much, because it feels like there are laps in terms of our education system. And if we get to have the opportunity to go face-to-face again in the soonest of time, then I guess it's better for us to respect the teachers, because they are giving everything that they should give to us, that they can give to us, for us to have a better future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It looks like we have a bit of time, so Director, never mind. So
Hey, good
thank you,
evening.
Miss.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah, Director Ermin, her
That's
timer
alright.
went
That's
off.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you, Miss Bayambang. Up next, we have Miss Bugayon Pangasinan.
Hello everyone! Isang makakalikasang gabi po sa ating lahat. I am Chinagay Plaza Veracil, 18, graduating senior high school student from FINMA University of Pangasinan. And at my early age, I've already learned that life is not just full of happy memories and achievements, because we may also face difficulties, hardships, and disappointments on our journey. But I am very blessed to experience those, because it molded me to be a strong and resilient woman who can face any life challenges with faith and hope. At my young age, I know that I have this calling from the Mother Earth, that we should protect and preserve it at all costs. I have this burning heart desire to protect her. And that is what led me to my advocacy, which is all about reforestation by having regreening and replanting programs. Thank you.
I think, yes, our first question will be from Director Raymond.
good evening.
Good evening, Sir Raymond.
Hi. Would you say that the young men today have lost their sense of chivalry? Because I've been hearing this from my nieces, you know, an observation perhaps from people of my generation, that perhaps because women are more empowered, some men, I guess they feel that, you know, they would treat another lady like he's just another, like a dude, if I put it that way in your language. You know? Would you say that men of your generation, the younger men now in their 20s, in their early 20s, are less chivalrous than they used to be in the previous generations?
Can you please repeat the question, sir?
What I'm saying is, would you consider your men of your generation less chivalrous, meaning to say opening doors for you, standing up when the lady comes into the room, being very respectful, you know, pulling your chair, giving you a seat, these things, small things, no, which shows also the breeding that the person went through, no, in his life. So would you say that the young men today are less chivalrous compared to the men of previous generations?
Well, for me, I believe that men nowadays are not less chivalrous, because there are still men who can give up their seats for us, the women. So we should give our equal respect to the men and women, and we should not have the gender inequality. So yes, I do not believe that men are not less chivalrous.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think our next question will be from Miss Marites.
Okay, a follow-up to that related to Director Toledo's question. I'd like to know, who do you think is the stronger sex, male or female?
Well, I believe that we have our own strengths and weaknesses, but I do believe that men are more empowered nowadays because we can do what men can do. And we have this platform, which is Miss Philippines Earth, wherein we can stand a little taller and we can raise our voice a little louder. So with that, we are able to spread not just our own advocacies, but also our experiences towards other people.
Thank you.
And I think we have time to have a question from Sir Mark.
Yes. You mentioned that reforestation is key to solving one of the major environmental problems. However, we have a lot of laws already in place for reforestation. So maybe I'd like to check with you, how do we encourage our local governments to act on it, especially your municipality?
Well, I am very blessed that my municipality is very supportive when it comes to my advocacy. Actually, here we have this new project wherein a new solar farm is going to be planted here in our municipality, specifically with the. Okay.
You can finish. It's okay.
Okay. Specifically because we have this new renewable sector, which is avoid this power. And with that, they have this inclusive and participative manner wherein they have involved my advocacy, which is reforestation. So some of the proceeds or money that they can generate can be cost to the reforestation projects. And also, we encourage everyone, the investors, the local government, and the community as well to have this reforestation project on the nearby areas, to the facility itself, and to the surrounding areas of that project.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's positive reinforcement for your municipality. Kudos to your team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pulgalion. So up next, we have Miss Calamba City.
Mabuhay! I'm Maria Tisha Medrana, 18, your Miss Philippines Earth, Calamba City. I grew up in the town of Torres Rizal and the resort capital of the Philippines, known as the city of growth, leisure, and national pride. I am a former ballet dancer, a dog and animal lover. I will be graduating from senior high school this coming August. And finally, I will be a college student soon. I chose nursing as my pre-med because it is all about caring and nurturing. And I think that this is the perfect course that will mold me and land me into my dream job, which is to be a dermatologist and a beauty queen, which had been my goal and ultimate dream ever since. And as a woman who grew up with the nature, I want to showcase my very own advocacy, which is my love for the ground or simply soil conservation. I chose soil conservation because the soil is the heart and soul of our planet. Soil provides the nutrients essential for plant growth and animal life and millions of microorganisms. And I want to make a difference or an impact to educate other people to let them know that our soil is degrading at an alarming rate. And this is the main reason that is why I want to settle upon showcasing a systematic awareness and campaign on how soil relates to people's everyday lives. I am a woman of the earth, a Miss Philippines candidate, and a Calambenya who's ready to make a change and save the resources. If we take care of them, it will definitely take care of us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Columbia City. So I think your first question is from Miss Catherine.
Hi, Miss Calamba. Now that you're going to be a soon-to-be health frontliner, if you were given the chance to decide the salary of nurses and doctors, how much would you pay them a month? Without any budgetary constraints, how much would you give them?
Well, I believe that the nurses, they have hard work. They're working hard for everyone to save the lives of other people. And I believe that they should have a larger compensation because it's very hard to be a nurse and to be a doctor. It's like you're risking your life. Your other feet is on the ground if you're with them, especially during this phase of the pandemic. It's very risky. So if I will be, I think, higher than what we have right now. 100,000 maybe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sir Raymond. I think you're next.
I thought I was muted. You heard my comment. I said that was a good idea, 100,000. I totally agree. I think people in the workforce, in the healthcare system are, you guys are heroes, especially in this time of the pandemic. Anyway, I understand, so you're from Calamba, the birthplace of our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. There have been times in the past that some people in the academe question whether or not he's deserving to be given that accolade, the title of a national hero. Some say it's Mabini, it should be Mabini, or some say it should be Del Pilar, Anyway, or Bonifacio rather. Would you say that Dr. Jose Rizal should be our national hero? Would you agree with that?
Of course, I agree. Actually, Dr. Rizal fought with his pen and not with power. And I think that that's really amazing. And people should know that. People should know the story of Dr. Jose Rizal. It's not always the power. Sometimes we can fight for our country with only our minds and with the pen, just like what Dr. Jose Rizal did. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good timing. Thank you, Miss Calamba City. Up next, we have Caloocan City.
I am Jeremy Salvador Noki, 19, representing one of the historical places here in the Philippines, the city of Caloocan. I am a senior high school graduate of National College of Business and Arts, ABM student, and now I'm currently an editorial model and theater actress by profession. As I grew up and involved with these various organizations, it makes my life more fun and exciting, but what it teaches me the most is to withstand all the adversaries and focus on my goal. That's why I can describe myself as a self-oriented, self-driven, passionate, and dedicated person. And now I'm joining Miss Philippines Earth. The people in my city already freed us from war before, and now we, people of Caloocan, are trying and starting to save our land and city from the biggest threat we are facing, which is the climate change. And with the platform given by Miss Philippines Earth to me, I am able to advocate my advocacy, which is Heart for All, or animal habitat preservation. It is our moral obligation to give back to the environment, but also let's not forget to protect the lives of the animals and also give back to them. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think your first question will be from Miss MARITESS.
Okay. Hi, Miss Caloocan. So
Good evening,
you're a pet lover. You love animals?
Yes.
You have pets?
Yes, but actually I have one, a Shih Tzu one.
Oh, okay. So they say that dogs are man's best friend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think they say dogs, not cats? Why dogs?
I think dogs have a personality where even though they cannot talk and we cannot speak throughout, they have feelings and they can connect to our minds and to our hearts without actually telling a word. That's why and they are very loyal. They are very loyal. They are very lovable. So I think they consider as man's best friend because even though what will you do at the end of the day, they will be waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the next question will be from Sir Mark.
Since you mentioned about pets, I'm actually a pet lover as well. I have several dogs at home. I just like to check, what do you think are the qualities of a dog that you could relate to? Why are you attracted to dogs?
I think one of the personal traits of the dogs that I can relate myself to is the attachment. You know, in these times where we all trying and striving to better ways to live in every day. Some people may be very generous, and attaching to them is very helpful nowadays. They are very kind. Being kind to one another is what really matters the most, because it's in this time we are all striving and trying. So that's one personality I can relate myself into. The attachment to their friends and to their family. Thank you.
I agree. I agree with you. They love you no matter what. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sir Mark.
Miss Catherine, we have time. Do you have a question for Miss Caloocan City?
All right, I need to make my statement too about dogs, right? My dog's sleeping right here. But Miss Caloocan has been known for so many years being a flood-prone area. If you were given a chance to rebrand the image of Caloocan to the whole Philippines, what new image of Caloocan will it be? And hindi na yung tungkol sa baha ang pag-uusapan sa inyo.
Oh, okay. Actually, we have a slogan here in Caloocan that says "Making Vision into Victory." Our Caloocan is a very beautiful place, but of course, it's one of the urbanized cities, and some people may neglect its environmental protection or issues. But actually, we are starting to save our land and starting to save our environmental advocacies, and my advocacy would be really helpful to the environment also. And my city are also great in so many establishments. So that I think that we can really slay that, making vision a victory. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Caloocan City.
Thank you so much.
Up next, we have Miss Carrascal, Surigao del Sur.
Maradyaw na gabi sa atutanan. Good evening, everyone. I am Luis Tantunis, representing the beautiful municipality of Carrascal, Surigao del Sur. I am currently taking out my master's in pharmacy at University de Santo Tomas. Most of the time, you can find me working out, reading a book, or cooking and eating. But the place where I am most happy is in nature. From a young age, I've always loved spending my time with animals and just exploring the outdoors. And as the years pass, it breaks my heart to see how our actions, especially with regards to plastic, affects the planet. That's why I'm so adamant about my advocacy to address the problem of plastic pollution at the individual and the government levels. Every day of my life, I strive to do small things at home and influence my circle of friends. And I'm so happy now to have more action by working with my municipality. And with the Miss Philippines Earth platform, I hope to take even greater action together with my fellow Filipinos in creating a cleaner, greener, and bluer Philippines.
Thank you. So your first question will be coming from Director Raymond.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Miss Carrascal, would you say that social media forums like Facebook or Twitter should be regulated by government? Because oftentimes there's some, fake news that comes out of it, or people's reputations get soiled because of the irresponsible use of social media forums. So would you say that there should be government regulation for these? Thank you.
That's actually an excellent idea, Direk, and I very much agree with inviting the government to regulate our use of social media, especially now that a lot of our youth is more engaged on these social media platforms. And so we need to ensure that what they are exposed to will definitely shape their minds in the right way. And this includes the proper and factual evidence, as well as hopefully more things of value, such as environmental awareness and, of course, mental health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question will be from Miss Marites.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'd just like to ask you, if you were given the chance to put into law one environmental act to save the earth, what law would you like to pass?
I think if I could put one environmental law into action, I'm speaking globally, that would be the plastic ban. I am very passionate about banning plastic from our lives because it's in almost everything we use and in almost every thing we encounter on a daily basis. And yet, we still can't seem to get our minds around to the devastating consequences that plastic can have on our environment. I know that some places have already started, but I really want to make sure that this happens everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think so. Your next question will be from Sir Mark.
All right. So one of your advocacies would be plastic pollution, but the Philippines leads the list for plastic pollution contribution at sea. So Surigao City actually alone rakes in 976,500 kilograms of plastic thrown at sea. So my question to you is, how do you think will you help implement these laws and ordinances? Although you mentioned one, but how? What specific steps would we take?
So I am also aware that the Philippines is very much among the top plastic polluters in the world, and it's a very sad situation. But then again, this is why I am so adamant about my cause. In my municipality alone, we are already starting the plastic ban, and I know that different regions in the Philippines are already starting as well. And this plastic ban includes especially the marketplaces where a lot of plastic is used to wrap the food. So we're replacing it with eco bags and baskets. And I know that these seem to be small steps, but it's small steps that will lead us to success and will lead us to a better environment.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carrascal. So up next, we have Ms. Katanawan Quezon.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Maria Vivian Lingkuran Fabella, your Miss Philippines Earth from Katanawan, Quezon Province. I am from a family of educators and farmers, and they are my inspiration why I become an educator too. I was a former instructor at SLSC Katanawan Extension, and now I am an online teacher because of pandemic. Growing up, my parents taught me to include good weather and abundant harvest in our prayers, given that the primary source of livelihood here in Quezon generally rely on farming and fisheries. And not too long ago, when Typhoon Ulysses struck us, lots of areas here were flooded, houses were wrecked, and livelihood destroyed, and almost all of us were affected. And it is so heartbreaking that in the midst of pandemic, that people really need their livelihoods in order to provide food for their family and in order to survive. That's why I came up with my advocacy, which is mangrove reforestation. This aims to increase the numbers of mangrove trees in the coastal areas of Katanawan to lessen the casualties during calamities and also protect the livelihoods of my fellow Katanawani. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question will be from Ms. Catherine.
Hi, Ms. Katanawan. How do you think can we further dignify farmers? I personally think that we don't give them enough credit for doing what they are in our society today. How can we make them feel more important? What kind of help should we extend, or what kind of regard should we give them?
First, we have to call the attention of our government or our local government units so that they can acknowledge our farmers and how farmers very important to our daily lives because it is the one that give us food and they are beneficial in our environment. And I think that every one of us should be thankful to our farmers because it is one that provides food for us on our daily lives. Thank you.
Your next question will be from Director Raymond.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Would you say that religion plays an important role in the identity of a nation? I just want to get your opinion from that.
Yes, I think that religion is very important because coming from a family who is God-fearing, I always include the environmental problems or the certain issues that's happening in our country, and it makes me inspired that and gives me hope that we can overcome all of the challenges that we are facing on today, especially the environmental problems that we are facing on today. I know that if we pray and have concern to our environment, we can overcome all of the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you.
It looks like we may have time. So, Miss Marites, do you have a question for?
Yes, Miss Katanawan. Hi, good evening. You said you were a teacher, right? What
Yes.
level do you teach? What level do you teach?
I am an online English teacher at an ESL company.
Oh, all right. So I was going to ask you, yeah, as a teacher, how do you use this platform to teach them and share them how to love the earth, take care of the environment? How do you use that platform now?
Well, being a teacher, you will educate thousands of people and you will able to impart knowledge on taking care of our environment. And with that, I know that I can pass my imparted knowledge to the generations to generation that will make a big impact to save our Mother Earth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Miss Katanawan. Up next, we have Miss Cebu City.
Hi, maayong gabi sa tanan. My name is Gia Moreno. I'm 25 years old. I'm a very adventurous and active person. I go to yoga, I go to the gym. I've even participated in half marathons. I've run a 21-kilometer marathon, and I'm very adventurous. I love extreme sports. I love zip lines. The value of education is so important to me. That's why I co-founded a charity foundation for kids. It is called Minds on Wheels. We have been operating for 2 years now, and our goal is to strengthen literacy in the rurals of Cebu. And right now we are working towards enlightening the youth about environment preservation through an arts and craft workshop for upcycling and recycling. And explorative as I am, I also had a very successful event last May. It is called Discover Aluginsan, where I showcased the top sustainable destinations of the place where I grew up in. So one of those places is Bohol River. So Bohol River is internationally awarded and recognized because of its sustainability practice. We don't only rehabilitate the mangroves and preserve the environment, but part of the income also goes to the underprivileged students. So thank you.
Thank you. Your first question will be coming from Sir Mark.
Hello, Gia. Maayong gabi.
Mayong gabi, Sir Mark.
Hello. You mentioned about your mind on wheels.
Yes.
So let's say I'm rich and I gave you money to promote that advocacy, Mind on Wheels. Sky is the limit. How would you make it and how you promote it nationwide?
Oh, that is one very interesting question, Sir Mark. So Minds on Wheels, what we're doing now is we donate books to children, and we have this learning drive where we spend time with the kids. We teach them the basic reading and writing and the value of the environment, of course. So we are facing a challenge right now because we don't have enough resources. We don't have enough volunteers. So if you're gonna give me money for my foundation, then it's gonna be perfect. Then we'll be able to reach out more kids. We'll be enlightening more youth about the value of environment preservation. So we're gonna have more resources, more books. You see, because right now, since our foundation is very young, it is really a challenge, Sir Mark.
Thank you for making that impact. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Miss Catherine.
Hi, Miss Cebu. This is just a fun question for you. Please assign a color to what I'm going to say and just give a quick description why. Are you game?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Puso.
Oh, green.
Okay. How about the state of the environment in Cebu right now?
Come again, Mom
The
Cassie?
state of the environment in Cebu right now.
Well, I'd say yellow because Cebu is very industrialized and very progressive, but we haven't, we still value the environment despite of the urbanization. Right now, Cebu City is having this project called Highland Blooms, where we promote ecotourism in the city. And we are highlighting the natural resources that we have. And yellow for this because it symbolizes positivity and hope, that despite all the industrialization, the environment still has hope. Because we Cebuanos, we are the spokesperson of Mother Earth.
What color are you going to assign the political situation in our country right now? You don't need to explain, you just can give one.
Okay, I'm gonna assign blue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kat.
Right, thank you, Ms. Sabir. Also, just a heads up, the timer is not working at the moment, so I'll be your timer. So up next, we have Ms. Calver Surigao del Norte. Yep, so you can start your introduction.
Hi, maradyaw na gabi ka natong tanan. I am Jan Junival de Gastas Dura, 23 from the municipality of Claver, province of Surigao del Norte. I am currently working as an account specialist in one of the BPOs here in Davao City. Well, at the same time, I'm an active member of the National Youth Volunteers Coalition, which is an organization dedicated to promoting youth volunteerism. My advocacy revolves on pushing for sustainable development and raising awareness on responsible mining because Claver is also known as the mining capital of Caraga region.
Okay, so your first question will be from Director Raymond. I think he might have dropped off the call. So I think Miss Marites will be your first question.
No problem there. Hi, Jan. Magandang gabi. Can you hear me? Hi, Jan. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are we lagging?
Yes, I can hear you now, Pa.
Okay. Now, I'd just like to know, in this day and age, I want to know your on your thoughts on plastic surgery. Are you for enhancements, plastic surgery? What are your thoughts?
What's that again, Pa? Sorry.
Yeah, Jan.
Can you repeat the question?
In today's day and age, I'd like to know your thoughts on plastic surgery and enhancements. Are you in favor of it or not? Personally, would you get?
Well, personally, I think that there is nothing wrong. So yes, personally, I think that there is really nothing wrong if people would prefer to get surgical enhancements. If that would actually make them feel beautiful, if that would lead them to love themselves more, that would make them more confident, then there's no problem with that as long as they're actually not stepping on anybody. But on my own personal self, I don't think that I'd actually be wanting to change something on my physical appearance. But once again, there's nothing wrong with having surgical enhancements. It's not just my thing.
Well, you don't need to get any enhancements. You're beautiful as you are. Thank you for that answer.
Thank you.
Okay, your next question will be from Sir Mark.
Indeed, you're very beautiful, but I would like to check because you mentioned that you're an account specialist in an organization. How will your current skill be helpful in promoting your advocacy?
So actually, I'm an account specialist in one of the BPOs here in Davao City. So it's a call center. So basically, it's more on the customer care side.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to promoting my advocacy, I believe the best thing is that since we're actually having clients from all around the world, that actually expands my network of friends, network of those people that I knew of. And that means that the more people that I know of from different areas of the world, then I'd also be able to expand or educate more. So the more that I promote my advocacy, especially with the social media nowadays, which makes it easier for us to communicate with people all over the world, then I believe that it would be helpful and it would be really impactful to raise education and awareness on responsible mining, not just in the Philippines, but all around the globe.
That's an interesting. I never thought of that. Thank you. Expanding your network. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and that is time. So thank you, Miss Claver.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have Miss Cordon Isabella.
Naim Bagnarabi. Good evening, Philippines, and good evening, Earth. I am Zenith Can, 22, and I hail from the agri-tourism hub of Cagayan Valley, Cordon Isabella. I am a management accountant by profession, and I also own a business under fashion and home design. I come from a family of farmers, and my love for nature, our source of life, have been instilled in my mind from a very young age. I also value environmental preservation. And with that being said, let me share to you my advocacy, which is air purification and conservation. We are in the middle of the pandemic right now, and clean air is an imperative. That is why I joined Miss Philippines Earth to advocate against air pollution and, of course, reach a wider demographic, our whole citizenry in particular, so that I could awaken the inner eco-warrior in each and every heart of our fellow Filipinos. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, yeah, we'll start with Miss Catherine.
Hi, Miss Cordon. I'd like to continue my color question because that's the theme of Miss Earth this year. What's your color and why did you choose that one?
Okay, thank you. My earth color that I have chosen is grass green. I have chosen grass green for I believe this is the perfect embodiment of the beauty of nature and everything that it has to offer. When I see the color green, I see a rich biodiversity, all life in all kinds of forms, from the smallest units like bacteria to plants and other forms of living creatures like the animals, the marine life, and us humans. And of course, when we see green, we see something that symbolizes peace and something that involves one of the biggest advocacies that I have, which is convivial conservation, the harmony between us humans, urbanization, and nature altogether.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next question is from Director Raymond. He's back.
Yes, good evening. I
evening,
got cut
sir.
out earlier. Yeah, but anyway, I'm back. Yes, good evening. Would you say that population growth contributes to the degradation of the environment and of the planet in general? So would you advocate for, shall we say, for policies of government that would limit the number of children? I mean, these sort of things, what they had in China before. That was extreme, though. That was a one-child policy, But would you connect that population growth really impedes on the quality of the environment we have worldwide?
Yes, sir. Actually, I agree with you because each of us human beings create carbon footprints, and overpopulation increases the effect of the greenhouse effect, to be particular. So if ever, I would like to ask the government if we could develop any kind of strict family planning that each Filipino families could implement, especially that our population is increasing alarmingly, especially during this pandemic. There are a lot of births that have happened, and that, of course, increases the carbon footprint that we generate. That is why it is important to carry on these kinds of these kinds of laws in the Philippines.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And up next, we have a question from Miss Marites.
Okay. Good evening, Zenith. You have a very pretty smile.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'd like to know what qualities would you look for in a life partner?
If I would ever look for a life partner, the first quality that I would look for is someone who is God-fearing and is a family man. I actually come from a broken family, and this is a very important quality that I am finding.
Well, I hope you find him.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening.
Thank you, Miss Cordon Isabella. So up next, we have Miss Cotabato City.
Good evening. I am Alexandra Juliana Salazar, 28, from Cotabato City. I am a registered nurse by profession and an eco-warrior by heart. I grew up in Quezon City, and when I was young, our family often visited our relatives in Cotabato and its neighboring towns. So I was exposed to both the city life and the rural life during my formative years. Being makakalikasan or pro-environment is one of our values as Filipinos, but in reality, it is weak. So my advocacy is to plant a seed of love for the environment in the most fertile ground, family. Through the family, children learn and grow and form values and habits. And parents and elders alike may even learn from what the youth has to offer. My advocacy is simple. It's to share our family's little ways of caring for the environment. And along with that, I wish to continue conducting outreach programs that would generate an audience ideal for teaching. And of course, utilize social media and advertisements, which are both powerful tools that influence people these days. My goal is to inspire each family to nurture the seed of love for Mother Earth until it becomes a strong culture that will be passed on from one generation to another.
Thank you, Ms. Cotabato. So I think our question will be from Sir Mark.
Hi, Alexandra. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I actually read your profile, and what resonated to me there were two words. You mentioned about creativity and innovation. You mentioned that it has been embedded by your parents to you. So probably a question would be, how would you use those two qualities to help protect, help nurture, and help preserve our environment? Using
creativity and innovation. Okay, so how I was raised, we didn't have much toys. Our parents believed that they can raise us with great values if we didn't have much toys. Instead, they provided us with a lot of coloring materials. So we got to paint our walls. We made houses out of cardboard boxes and blankets. And apart from that, our school is just walking distance from home. So we had the luxury of time. And we are blessed to have a backyard. That was my playground growing up. And my siblings and I, we used to gather seeds, hug trees, make our own treasure hunts, and identify plants around us. So with that, our creativity and innovative minds were developed. And up until now, our family has been doing a lot of ways of caring for Mother Earth through creativity. Like, for example, if you see my background, those Christmas lanterns, we've had that since December. Our family made those out of bamboos that we planted a few years ago. And of course, we replaced them after creating them. So that's just one way of showing our creativity and innovation that would inspire, hopefully, many.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, Miss Catherine, take it away.
Hi, Ms. Cotabato, what is your opinion about allowing 5-year-old kids and above finally out after more than a year during the lockdown? Is it already safe for them to come out, or is mental health really important?
Well, to me, there are a lot of ways that we can address mental health, even at home. because right now we have a growing number of plantitas. So it's basically telling us that we can bring nature to our home. And that is, nature, as we know, is such a strong tool that would help one's mental health. And as a medical professional myself, for now, with this pandemic situation, I would please encourage children and as much as possible, everyone to stay home if it's not a necessity to go out.
Thank you. I'm with you on that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Cotabato. Up next, we have Miss Davao City.
Hi everyone! Maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. I am Elda Luis Sinahan Naznar, 25 years old, your Miss Philippines Earth, Davao City. So I was a former flight attendant with a degree in interior designing. My love for traveling has always been deeply embedded in me. Doing it since I was younger, my passion for taking care and preserving nature became stronger. That is why my advocacy is called Green Travel. So the goal of green travel is to lessen our negative impact everywhere we go by using reusable products and hopefully banning single-use plastic in our country. My advocacy focuses more on lifestyle change, strengthening the new ordinance of my city, which is called No to Single-Use Plastic Ordinance of 2021, and also highlighting ways on how we could recycle the existing waste. In this way, we could lessen our waste and focus more on recycling the existing ones, and also live a future where plastic waste does not really affect us. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question will be from Director Raymond.
Good evening, Ms.
Hey,
Davao.
good evening. Good evening po.
I've been to your place a couple of times in the past, but the last time that was like 10 years ago, thereabout, and it's a lovely place. Yeah. Anyway, well, coming from that perspective, how would you convince someone from Manila, for example, who might consider living in Davao? What would be the advantages, you would say, or the things that would entice people to stay there, the quality of life of Davao City?
So Davao City is known for being safe, a safe place for everyone to stay. And aside from that, one way of inviting people is that I would say that Davao is both a business district and a place where you can live peacefully. So Davao has everything. We have cities, we have beautiful mountains, beautiful seas that you could always visit. So featuring these beautiful places and also highlighting the beautiful, the very welcoming people and disciplined people of Davao will really make you want to visit Davao. So that is how I think I will invite everyone.
I actually missed the place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Up next, your question will be from Miss Marites.
Hello there, Miss Davao.
Hi po, Miss Marites.
You said you like to travel, right? So I'd like to
Yes.
know if there's such a thing as a relationship goal, what would be your country goal for the Philippines to be like in terms of environment and pollution-free? So what country would you like us to emulate?
I think the country that I want the Philippines to emulate is Singapore. Singapore is a balance of environment and innovation. Singapore has a place where you can see a lot of trees, but also a lot of buildings. There's a balance in those places. So I want the Philippines to also have that, the balance between nature and innovation.
If I had a drink, I will toast to that. I agree.
Yes. Hopefully in the future po.
Yes.
Good timing. Thank you, Miss Davao
Thank
City.
you.
Up next, we have Miss Digos City.
Hi, Maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. I am Irish Aben. I am 27 years old and I am Miss Philippines Earth from the Gate City of the South, Digos City. I am a civil engineer by profession, a law student, a working professional, and also an adventurer. My advocacy is watershed protection and rehabilitation. This is my advocacy because it is very heartbreaking to know that only 91% of the population in the Philippines have access to basic water sources, and there is at least 5 million Filipinos who have no access to safe water. And I truly believe that if no one would fight for our and protect for our water cycle, then there is nothing to support our life cycle. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think your question will now be from Sir Mark.
You're a civil engineer, a law student. You're a very well-rounded woman. Kudos to you. So,
thank you, Sir Mark.
I probably, since you mentioned about the preservation of watershed areas, so watershed protection is your advocacy. But you know what? In Digos City, I think solid waste management is an issue. So how would you help first in bringing to the community awareness of the current situation of the solid waste management concern in Digos, Irish?
Actually, solid waste management is not just an issue in our city, but in all around the Philippines. And for me, we already have ordinances. We have a lot of platforms. We have already a lot of laws implementing or regulating solid waste management. And I think for me, the most approachable way or the most realistic way to solve this problem is for the population, us, the community, to assume the responsibility of our local government. We have this alarming population growth. And so the generated solid waste, our community or our authority cannot properly regulate with this alarming rate of population growth. So as community, let us assume this responsibility. Let us it is easy to focus on the role of our leaders. But I think for me, I truly believe that the success of any initiative requires a wider support. So we people, the community, the population, we are the ones affected with this solid waste problem. So at least let us do our part to take action, take part, and be the solution.
Thank you. Just a minor follow-up, since you're a law student. What are your thoughts on this? So if people break the law on solid waste management, would you punish them or would you positively enforce?
I am a strong believer of positive action to motivate people, actually. And I have read, according to research, giving rewards or financial incentive intervention promotes pro-environmental behavior. So instead of penalizing these violators or polluters, why not give them reward or subsidy to motivate them to care for the environment, at the same time have them the chance to earn. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your next question will be from Miss Catherine.
Hi, Miss Digos City. Did you
Good evening.
anything during your journey in Miss Philippines Earth about the environment? Do you have a eco hack, as they would call it?
Oh, during my journey in Miss Philippines Earth, I think that I would not call it as an eco hack, but rather an eco solution. Changing myself, I would quote Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. So joining Miss Philippines Earth, it gives me a wider perspective that if I wanted to change the world, at least I need to change my perspective. I need to change my being. And in that way, I would be able to influence other people, and from my household to my community to my city and all over the Philippines, hopefully. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Miss Digos City. Up next, we have Miss Dumaguete City.
Yes, thank you, Miss Eliza. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is May Alexandra Krija Tiukikoham Sarani, but you can call me Krija. I am 26 years old, and I'm from the city of Gentle People, Dumaguete City. My advocacy is sustainable agricultural practices for food security. I actually really chose this one personally because Though I moved to Dumaguete City and Dumaguete City became my home, and Dumaguete is the most urbanized city in my province, I grew up in an agricultural place. So really the provincial life and example experience, like being able to, if we don't have fish or any meat to cook, we can just get malunggay across the street or kamote tops in our backyard. So we were really secured when it comes to food, and we were really eating more healthier food or healthier food. So I really wanted that advocacy because I know it's very realistic and practical. And lastly, I'm just really grateful to be here. And the reason really of joining Miss Philippines Earth is more than just a crown. Before, when I used to join pageants, it's just about the title or the crown. But now I joined for really the reasons behind the crown, especially after the pandemic with all of the realizations in life. I really wanted to leave something that people will remember me for. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. So I think your question will be from, I think we're starting again to Director Raymond.
Good evening, Ms. Dumaguete.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
I've been to your... Yes, hello. Yes, this year we're celebrating 500 years of the coming of the Christian faith, but at the same time, it was also the period that Spanish colonization started, though we defeated, well, Magellan was killed by Lapu-Lapu in the Mactan, but nevertheless, Legazpi came back and the rest is history. You know, they were here for 350 years, thereabouts. Would you say that our celebration of the coming of the faith, which is for me a gift, to our people, but would you also equate that with the, shall we say, coming of Western imperialism or Spanish colonial rule, or would you say it's wrong to celebrate? I mean, just to get your opinion about that, because some people raise that, as an issue in the past.
Yes. Well, honestly, sir, I think it's also an honor and a gift since we got Christianity from them. And yes, we did had like a lot of westernized or we were colonized, and we had a lot of traits and habits that we got from them. But most of all, importantly, Philippines is a Roman Catholic country. Though we have a lot of religions in the country, and I don't want to invalidate any religion at all. It's just that, especially here in my city, we're actually a very religious city. Dumaguete City is, and we're just very grateful for that. And if not with them, we will probably have like a different religion. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I'm just saying that I don't want to invalidate any religion at all, but the bottom line is I'm just really happy for that. And I don't think there's nothing wrong in celebrating the anniversary of the coming of Christianity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the next question will be from Miss Marites.
Hi, Mr. Dumaguete. Hamsirani, that is Middle Eastern, it's Indian, it's what?
Well, my father is actually a Muslim, ma'am.
Okay. Well, perfect. Okay. I have a follow-up question to direct question. Would you marry somebody of a different faith?
Oh, wow.
You are a Muslim or Catholic, Christian? What was your religion?
My parents are Muslim, but I am Roman Catholic.
Would you marry somebody of a Muslim or a different faith?
Okay, wow. Well, a lot of people actually ask me that because of my religion, Roman Catholic, and then my parents are Muslims. So as I've said, I don't want to invalidate any religion. And when it comes to love, I honestly think that there's no limit to love. Whether whatever religion you have or whatever sex preferences you have or age, it does not matter at all, because you cannot really choose who to love and who not to love. And honestly, to be loved by someone and to love someone is already a gift. So whatever religion that is, I'm still gonna marry that person who truly loves me unconditionally. They said that unconditional love cannot be given, or it's not true, but I really experienced unconditional love from my grandmother, my mamala, and my mom. So I really believe that's true. And so again, I'm not gonna choose any religion. As long as he loves me and I love him, then that's good enough.
Right, Mr. Dumaguete, love conquers all. It should not divide.
Yes,
for that answer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Miss Dumaguete City. Last but not least, we have Miss El Nido Palawan. is she with? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Good day, everyone. My name is Dana Yaparcon. I'm 19 years old, and I'm currently taking Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management at STI College. I am a pageant enthusiast, a model, and a young entrepreneur. Last year, 2019, I have bagged 4 crowns, which are the Miss STI Local, the regional, and international level. I've also won Miss Silka Palawan, and I represented Palawan in the national pageant. To tell you more something about myself, I want to become a rich and successful woman so that I could help other people, especially my family. Because my family has done a lot for me and I wanted to repay them someday. And by helping other people, it's just what makes me happy and it is my way of sharing my blessings. And I am for responsible tourism, environmental and social sustainability towards responsible tourism. Responsible towards nature, places, and spaces. To further elaborate those 3 words, the nature, we El Nidonians value our nature very much, and El Nido is very rich in its biodiversity. So I plan to mobilize my fellow El Nidonians and hold out information dissemination talks and symposium towards responsible tourism and to empower the youth to take part in different activities because the manpower is very important in this advocacy of mine to help prevent the environmental losses that is happening in El Nido. And for the places, I actually really like this quote, and this quote is take nothing but memories, leave nothing but footprints, and kill nothing but time. And this is my way of telling the tourists and even the local tourists of Palawan and El Nido to take part, to be a responsible individuals. And by spaces, this pandemic has took its toll on the tourism industry. And we pursued to develop and innovate ways that lean towards recovery. So we looked at this challenge in a positive light and turned it as an opportunity for El Nido to restart tourism into a more pliable, more responsible, and with more sustainable energy. So that in time, our municipality will be literally a safe haven and a clean and green place to be. Thank you.
Thank you. So your question will be from Sir Mark.
Wow, I listened to your achievements in the pageant industry, so good job to you on that. And I like
Thank
that
you
you are
po.
very driven and you're also very ambitious. That's also good. So I'd probably just like to ask, because the 2022 elections is fast approaching. So, and of course, we already have candidates that are in the buzz and they are in the survey. So I'd like to find out, do you think that our next country leaders should invest in helping with effects of global warming?
Well, yes, I do believe that our next leaders should have those advocacy about the environment, because protecting our environment is really important, because this is where we live and this is where we get our livelihood. The air that we breathe and the land that we stand on and even the house that we're living is from the earth. So being a leader, I think, and I strongly believe that it is really important that we should also put our hearts and mind into protecting it, because as we all know that there is no planet B, and the earth is what we all have in common. And being a leader is, you could speak a lot and you could inspire other people to live a more sustainable life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss El Nido Palawan.
Thank you po.
And I think that wraps up tonight's Prejudging in Intelligence and Environmental Awareness. So congratulations to all the ladies for really impressing our panel of judges. But the Prejudging does continue tomorrow, July 17 at 1 p.m. with our second batch of delegates from Esperanza Sultan Kudarat, General Santos City, Iloilo City, Hagna Bohol, Lapu-Lapu City, Las Piñas City, Mabini, Batangas, Mabini, Davao de Oro, Mabitac, Laguna, Makilala, North Cotabato, Malolos, Bulacan, Malungon, Sarangani, Mandaluyong City, Mandaue City, Manila City, Maribojoc, Bohol, Marilao, Bulacan, Maulbol, Cebu, Nagtipon, Quirino, Naik, Cavite, Olongapo City, and Parañaque City. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced any of your municipalities, but please make sure to follow the Miss Philippines Earth Facebook page and click the notification button so you won't miss out on the exciting events leading to the finals. And just a reminder, that is happening on Sunday, August 8 at 10 a.m. on the Kapamilya channel. On behalf of Carousel Productions, we'd like to thank you once again and to thank our panel of judges and all of you for watching. Bye, guys!